was 12 years old, my parents isolated my family from everyone we ever knew and everyone outside of the house, and proceeded to hide in a house in a perfectly normal neighborhood, never talking to anybody, barely ever leaving the house from that point forward. This is part 2 of that story. So at this point in the story, we're on lockdown. We don't interact with anybody. We don't go anywhere in town. We drive to the next town over to go to Walmart. And we're just at home all the time, homeschooling, hobbies, reading, raising each other, whatever. But at some point during our safe house lockdown situation, my parents decided that 8 kids is not enough kids. And my mom always wanted 9 kids, 10 kids, I don't know how many kids, but more kids than she had. But there were complications with her last pregnancy and she couldn't carry any more kids. So my parents decided to pay a surrogate to carry kids 9, 10, and 11. 9 and 10 are twins, and just continue producing kids. My parents told us all that the twins were coming and there's going to be more kids. The youngest kids genuinely burst into tears because they were so distressed about this concept. There was already too many kids. And that was so traumatizing that my parents decided the solution next time would be, I knew that kid number 11 was on the way, but they did not tell any of my other siblings until 1 week before he was born, and then they had a surprise, you're having a brother next week party. And then he ended up coming early, so I think it was like that day or the next day that we ended up loading up, driving 2 hours to the hospital he was going to be born in, and all of a sudden, surprise, you have a brother you didn't know about. And so now there's 11 of us. And it wasn't like at any point that I ever resented the youngest boy for existing or any of my siblings for existing, but it was just too many kids, and my parents could not parent the number of kids they already had, and then now there's 3 more. Because my parents, I feel like, kept having kids because it seemed like my mom only wanted to be a mom to babies. And she had fascination with babies. Baby was always her favorite. And the rest of us were kind of fending for ourselves almost. My parents would be arguing all the time. My dad left the house constantly, would be gone all day. He actually did not have a key to the house. She would lock him out of the house, then go lock herself in her bedroom and argue with him on the phone all day while we were taking care of each other, getting each other ready for bed, feeding each other, that sort of thing. And the twins were born when I was 15, and then the youngest was born when I was 18. So this spanned all of my teenage years, this parenting, the never seeing anybody, never leaving the house sort of situation. They would pay me to do chores around the house, so I'd never ask them about getting a job, never learned how to drive. It all just seemed like it was not necessarily normal, but it was like, this is not a bad thing. This is just our normal, and normal is overrated is what I'd say, actually, quite a bit. And that's not even getting into the fact that the youngest 3 were actually secret children that no one was supposed to know about outside of the house. So we can get into that when we talk about the situation with extended family in the next part.